twice a week, and an exhibition of their artwork is planned for the future. Ruyi's abstract painting in green and yellow will be part of that show.
A young boy is stalking a rooster at this wildlife park in New Zealand. However, another animal is stalking him. Let's take another look. A ram emerges from the bushes in the distance with a full head of steam. At the last possible moment, the boy's mother grabs him, saving him from disaster. The ram didn't ram. Thank goodness.
And finally, some bubbly fun. Daly the sea lion had fun popping bubbles at the Seneca Park Zoo in Rochester, New York. It's a great way to ring in the new year. Pop some bubbly.
And that's this week's edition of the News Sounds Now Update.
Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you back here on Monday. News 3 Now at 5 starts right now.
And right now at 5, we're looking into the criminal history of the father who is accused of abusing his son for years leading up to his death.
And bond has been set for the man charged with killing a woman on Christmas Eve. We'll tell you the relationship between the suspect and the victim.
Plus, how the warmer weather is causing problems for those looking to enjoy winter activities.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 5.
Thanks for staying with us. Eric is off tonight. We are continuing to learn more about the criminal history of a father accused of abusing his son up to the son's death.
Our Amy Reed joins us now with what she found out today. Amy.
Yeah, we first shared this heartbreaking story yesterday. 10-year-old Dakota Collins was found dead earlier this month in Ohio. Now we're learning about the criminal history the courts knew when Dakota's father was allowed under his care.
I have pictures still where you'd come up and curl up next to me in like a little ball, just right with me, cuddling, everything. That's gone.
It's painful memories for Dakota Collins' family. His uncle and grandmother left to wonder why.
And there'll always be that why. Why? I ask myself every day, well, how could somebody do this? Why would somebody do this? And I think that's what's going to eat me up my whole life.
2 weeks ago, their nephew and grandson was found unresponsive. His autopsy showing severe abuse, cuts and bruises head to toe, his head being held underwater, and signs he'd been sexually abused. In 2013, courts denied Dakota's grandmother, Kelly Sandoval, from having custody of the boy, she said, instead keeping him in primary custody of his father, Al Matahan McLean. But digging through court records, we learned McLean had been charged with multiple violent crimes around the same time. In 2012, a man who said he didn't know McLean said he put him in a headlock and choked him. Felony strangulation and misdemeanor battery charges were dropped, replaced with disorderly conduct and bail jumping. Then in 2013, months after the custody agreement, witnesses saw McLean hit his ex-girlfriend over the head with a pipe, drag her by her hair, and in their words, gave her a beatdown like I've never seen. Those charges were dismissed. Dakota's family tells me there was more in Ohio that should have raised red flags, doing nothing for their question. Why?
The system, yeah, they're not 100%. They didn't physically abuse him and stuff like that, but they need to check into stuff, you know. And it can't be just a couple weeks. You gotta follow up on it, you know.
Now we're left with more questions like why did the courts still place Dakota in this man's care? And unfortunately, we may not ever know those answers. The agencies that handle these cases are bound by law not to discuss them, so they were unable to talk with me about this today.
Terrible story. Amy, thank you.
A Potosi woman has severe injuries following a head-on crash with a semi in Grant County. Deputies say it happened at U.S. Highway 61 and Indian Creek Road in Dickeyville early this morning. Officials say 29-year-old Samantha Klein was driving a car when she crossed the center line and hit a semi head-on. She was extricated from the vehicle and has severe injuries. There's no word on the condition of the semi-driver. The crash remains under investigation.
Wisconsin Dells police say a visitor at a resort has been charged with a hate crime after allegedly admitting that he assaulted a man based on his race in a bar at the resort. The Baraboo News Republic reports 34-year-old Bradley Davis of Hale Wales Corners, was charged Monday with felony aggravated battery. He's accused of punching the victim numerous times in the face until he passed out and fell to the floor, and kicking him in the face while he was down. Davis allegedly told police he was the victim of the hate crime and feared for his family's safety.
A Madison man accused of fatally shooting his sister at her home on Christmas Eve is being held on a $1 million cash bond.
Joseph Green faces charges of first-degree intentional homicide with the use of a dangerous weapon. Our Gabriella Becerra joins us now with what we know about the homicide. Gabriella?
The Dane County judge set a cash bail at the state's suggested amount of $1 million because of what he says is strong circumstantial case that creates flight incentive. According to a criminal complaint, just after 4 o'clock on Tuesday, dispatch received a phone call that said, "My sister needs an ambulance immediately," and then disconnected. That phone call was later traced to a phone that belongs to Joseph Green, the suspect accused of killing his sister. The complaint goes on to say that officers found Green at his Madison apartment and arrested him.
I also would note that in addition to finding probable cause, and I think this is relevant to the issue of bail, while this complaint is circumstantial in nature, it appears to be a fairly strong circumstantial case.
The complaint says officers found a gun in the dumpster outside of Green's building. Inside the gun were bullets that matched the shell casings at the scene of the crime. Officials obtained surveillance video that shows Green walking toward the dumpster upon arrival. A preliminary hearing for Green has been set for January 2nd, and if he's convicted, he could face up to life in prison.
All right, Gabby, thank you.
Authorities are searching for a suspect they say shot and killed a man, a 40-year-old man, at a home in Racine County last night. Racine County deputies are searching for 40-year-old Troy Hoffman. Police say Hoffman crashed his car into another car that was parked in the driveway of a home in Wind Lake. The suspect then fired multiple shots into the home, ultimately forced his way inside, and fired additional shots within the residence. Hoffman fled the scene in a 2009 white Toyota Sienna with Wisconsin license plate number AFV 9734.
The warmer weather could bring a wet mixture to the area tomorrow. Let's check your first alert forecast with meteorologist Dave Caulfield. Dave?
Yeah, Mark, we have a wild weather weekend on tap for the final weekend of 2019 over the next couple of days. For southern Wisconsin, it will be a soggy one. Doppler track showing the system that will affect us eventually, bring a mixed bag of precipitation to Nebraska and Kansas and Colorado as well. Some thunder sleet being reported over the last few hours. We could see some hear some rumbles of thunder over the next couple of days. Not out of the question. Right now, quiet though on Doppler track across southern Wisconsin. Madison looking at partly cloudy skies on the Edgewater Skycam. Clouds will increase tonight with temperatures right now at 30 degrees. As we take a look at the day planner for tomorrow, outside chance of maybe some snow or freezing rain to start us out tomorrow morning, but temperatures should warm enough quickly to get us just to rain by the afternoon and evening hours. We'll time out all of this in your first alert forecast in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Dave. Fire officials in DeForest say they believe a TV caused a fire at a home today. It happened in the 400 block of North Stevens Street around 2:15 this afternoon. When firefighters arrived on the scene, they say smoke was coming out of the roof. They say the people living in the home were there at the time, but no one was injured. Firefighters say there is minor damage to the home.
A Stoughton man was arrested last night for his 11th OWI after he crashed his vehicle into a parked car and drove away from the scene. Police said a Stoughton police officer was notified of the hit and run and proceeded to follow 59-year-old Bruce Henningfield to a nearby bar parking lot. Police said Henningfield showed signs of impairment. Henningfield was taken to the Dane County Jail and arrested on suspicion of 11th offense OWI.
Madison police responded to a report of shots fired last night in the 4300 block of Nakusa Trail. Law enforcement officers found shell casings in the roadway. Witnesses told police the suspect fled through the backyards of homes on the north side of the street in an older model brown sedan. No injuries were reported, and police did not find any damaged property.
The Wisconsin Department of Justice is looking for information on a Madison High School business club's past trips after students discovered hidden cameras in their hotel room this month. East High School DECA students found cameras in their rooms during a trip to Minneapolis in the first weekend of December. The school district placed an unidentified staffer on leave following the discovery. The Wisconsin State Journal reports that the East interim principal forwarded a message from a Wisconsin DOJ agent to saying the department will work with the district to collect information about past DECA events, trips, and attendees.
As the second warmest Christmas just passed, some people aren't yet in the winter spirit, which is taking a toll on some local ski resorts. Without any natural snow, resorts are left to create it themselves. The folks at Cascade Mountain say they're able to fill all 47 runs with snow, although the heat is melting part of that. But despite the warmer weather, officials say people are still out on the slopes.
Obviously, with the weird weather that we've been having recently, many would think that sales are down, but we're actually right on par with previous seasons.
Cascade Mountain isn't anticipating a decrease in the number of people who visit, but they are having to keep up with all of the demand for the man-made snow.
Meanwhile, in southeastern Wisconsin, a popular holiday attraction hasn't even opened yet due to the warm weather. The Lake Geneva Ice Castle, which is normally finished by Christmas, is only a quarter of its full size. That's because the manufactured ice for the Lake Geneva Ice Castle keeps melting. They make their own snow and freeze their own ice. All they need is a couple of weeks of cold, but they're still waiting.
Just at the will of Mother Nature. We do as much building as we can when we do get those temperatures, and then we kind of just try to protect it as best we can.
They do expect the Ice Castle to be open around January 10th.
A new boutique hotel is coming to the downtown Madison area. The Moxie Madison will be located between the Sylvie and Breeze Stevens Field on East Washington Avenue. It features a chic industrial style with concrete floors and open ceilings. The hotel is anticipated to break ground in the fall of next year and open its doors in 2021.
As Wisconsin and Oregon get ready for the granddaddy of them all, decorating is started for the Rose Parade floats. Volunteers are arriving at the headquarters of Fiesta Parade Floats, which has 11 floats in the parade this year. Volunteers are beginning the careful process of placing roses on the floats, but it's not just about the roses.
We're still very much into dry decorating here at Fiesta Parade Floats. The next couple of days are going to be about the intricate details. So all sorts of seeds and materials and plant materials are going on. And you'll see that the various float and the decorating and dry materials are going to be going on.
Volunteers will be working day and night until New Year's Eve to get those floats just right. And we've got team coverage of the Rose Bowl starting tomorrow night at 6 o'clock with Kevin Lewis, Melissa Kim, and Eric Franke. They're all going to be in Pasadena. Stick with News 3 Now and Channel 3000 for all the highlights leading up to next Wednesday's big game. And there's more to come on News 3 Now at 5. Up next, a Senate impeachment trial is expected to be the first order of business in the new year, how lawmakers are strategizing while on break.
And then coming up tonight at 6, the season of giving isn't over for Bucks superstar Giannis Antetokounmpo, how he's giving back. Coming up tonight at 6.
And another record-setting day on Wall Street. The Dow Industrial's up 24 points at a record close. The NASDAQ, however, down with 16, but the S&P was up fractionally for a record high. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Congress is on break, but one of the first orders of business for the Senate in the new year will be the impeachment trial of President Trump.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi still has not delivered the articles of impeachment to the Senate, saying that she needs to see what the rules of the trial will be first. Republican Senator John Kennedy warned Minority Leader Chuck Schumer to be careful what he wishes for when it comes to requesting witnesses at the trial.
If he gets his witnesses, I'm sure that the president is going to want his witnesses, and the president's witnesses won't be subject to a claim of executive privilege, but Chuck's might.
We will continue to push for rules that give us witnesses and documents. That is the key.
At least 4 Republicans would have to join Democrats to allow witnesses as part of the rules of the trial. If that happens, even if it happens, it doesn't mean the Senate will vote to convict the president. It takes a 2/3 supermajority to do that. Authorities are searching for survivors in Hawaii after they say they found wreckage of a helicopter that was carrying 7 people. It was found in a mountainous area on the island of Kauai. Officials say they're sending additional resources and searching for possible survivors. Searchers began looking for the helicopter yesterday evening.
Kazakhstan's president has ordered an inspection of all airlines in the country after a jetliner carrying 98 people crashed shortly after takeoff. At least 12 people were killed and 54 hospitalized in the accident. The aircraft hit a concrete wall and a 2-story building soon after leaving Almaty International Airport. One survivor said the plane started shaking less than 2 minutes after departure.
Firefighters struggled with water supply problems as they battled a fire at a multi-million-dollar mansion in Concord, Massachusetts. Firefighters had to bring in tanker trucks carrying tens of thousands of gallons of water because there are no fire hydrants in the neighborhood. 2 workers in the home were there and were able to make it out in time. No one else was inside. The fire is believed to have started in the basement and quickly spread to the attic.
New York City is getting ready for its biggest party of the year, New Year's Eve in Times Square. City officials expecting about 1 million people in Times Square. Everybody coming in will go through security screening. Security will be tight for the event. An army of NYPD, federal and state officers will be on patrol, mostly in uniform, some in plain clothes, others with bomb-sniffing dogs.
We have all these resources on the ground. Our aviation unit will be overhead, surveying rooftops and ensuring the crowds are safe.
And workers are putting the finishing touches on the 12-foot, 6-ton Waterford crystal ball that'll descend at the stroke of midnight. This year, they are replacing 192 of the nearly 2,700 panels with specially themed Gift of Goodwill crystals.
It's going to be relatively mild in New York City for New Year's
40s.
Eve. It is here as well, but we've got some significant rain on the way for the weekend. Dave Caulfield is here with the forecast. Dave?
Yeah, the final weekend of 2019, Susan and Mark, will be a pretty wild one weather-wise as a powerful system moves into the upper Midwest. We're on the warm side of this system for the most part, so we're going to be dealing with, I would say, rain most of the time. As we head into Monday, there may be some areas of some light snow. We'll talk about that in just a bit. Right now, we're noticing that system continuing to get its act together closer to the Rocky Mountains, but we have a mixed bag of precipitation in spots like Nebraska and Kansas. This will continue to spread to the north and east over the next 24 hours or so. I expect us to start to see some precipitation across southern Wisconsin by the time we get to later tomorrow morning into the early afternoon hours. There's an outside chance of a few areas seeing just some light snow or some freezing rain to start tomorrow, but I think that will be few and far between, and temperatures will warm up quickly enough that that won't be an issue and won't have major impacts on our weather. Check this out. Madison on the WISC-TV Skycam. That is a great looking sunset there with the clouds starting to increase across the area. Today's high 37 degrees. Not nearly as mild as we have been, but still about 10 degrees above normal for this time of year. We actually set the record for the day last year on this date of 50 degrees. So we'll be in the 50s once again as we head into Sunday. It will be a mild next few days across southern Wisconsin. Other high temperatures close to 40 in Janesville, hitting 40 in Boscobel, and 36 in Lone Rock, 32 in the Dells. We had those clouds keeping us a little bit on the cooler side to start us off today, and we will become cloudy as we head into tonight. A soggy weekend on the way. I don't think travel will be too bad here, although we will have to contend with some rain. Could be heavy at times, but it could be worse for our friends to the north and west. And we are looking at the pattern turning a bit more wintry as we say goodbye to 2019 and hello to 2020. Note these temperatures here, folks. They're down into the low 30s by Monday and New Year's Eve Tuesday. But check this out. We're in the upper 40s and mid 50s for Saturday and Sunday. So big changes, big swings on the way for this weekend. Let's take a look at future track. So we're into the low 30s to start us out Saturday morning. Notice this area of light freezing rain and light snow possible north and west of Madison. Really don't think that's going to affect too many of us, but we'll keep the slight chance of that in there. But notice also how fast this changes over to just rain. And we're dealing with garden variety showers during the afternoon and evening on Sunday. Could see some heavy rain move in Sunday night, or Saturday night into Sunday morning, and maybe a thunderstorm or two, not out of the question. Scattered showers on the way for Sunday. After everything is said and done, about an inch to possibly even an inch and a half of rain is possible for southern Wisconsin. Then Monday, some light snow possible as we get into the low 30s for highs. Not expecting major accumulations there. Quiet for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day with temperatures in the 30s. Then some rain and snow showers are possible as we head into Thursday. So here's a look at your first alert traffic update. Taking a look at Park Street and the Beltline. Pretty quiet in both directions as we're still in the holiday season. Not too many drivers on the road. However, there is an accident on I-43 southbound in Rock County. That road is closed from exit 15 to exit 6, so that's something to keep in mind. And we do have a couple of stalled vehicles, one on the Beltline, the entry ramp southbound from Gammon Road that you might want to be aware of, not causing any delays right now. And everything's showing up green as far as our drive times go. Westbound John Nolan to Verona Road, that's 4 minutes, and eastbound University Ave to the interstate, 15 minutes with an average speed of around 60 miles per hour. That's your first alert traffic update.
All right, Dave, thank you. Ahead on News 3 Now at 5, choosing the best food for your body. We'll show you a DNA app that scientists say could give you a nudge in the right direction.
Well, DNA tests are exploding in popularity as people try to learn more about their ancestry.
Now researchers in the UK say your biology can also tell you the best foods to eat for your body. Riley Carlson has the story from London.
People are lining up for cheek swabs at this shop in central London called DNA Nudge.
So we're effectively using your biology to nudge you to make healthier choices within what you eat.
Unlike other DNA tests, there's no lab here, just a small machine that scans DNA for health conditions like diabetes, hypertension, and obesity. DNA is analyzed in about an hour and given to customers in a Fitbit-style wristband synced to an app.
So it's not just based upon your DNA, it's also based upon your lifestyle.
Once you have your information, it's time to shop. Scientists have loaded the app with thousands of food products at grocery stores across the UK.
With a simple scan of the barcode, the wristband turns green when a food is right for you. Red means try something else. But the app won't just tell you to put down the cookie. It guides you to a healthier one.
If you want to buy a biscuit, then let us find a better biscuit for you and your biology.
Families like the Crown Spencers have joined a clinical trial at Imperial College London.
It's too much salt.
To see how much of an impact these small changes can have on people predisposed to type 2 diabetes.
I love the fact that when I go shopping, I can make sure that I'm making the right choices for all three of us.
Researchers hope the trial will prove that using your own biology really is the key to a healthier lifestyle. Riley Carlson, CBS News, London.
That's why I like tacos.
Another check of the weather when we return. We'll be right back.
Not a bad evening for the end of December.
Right, and then things change in a big way. We get a lot more soggy as we head into Saturday and Sunday. Tonight becoming mostly cloudy with that rain on the way. Initially tomorrow morning, there could be a few areas that see some light freezing drizzle or some flurries, but really don't think many of us have to worry about that. Mostly rain for Saturday and some rain heavy at times Saturday night into Sunday morning. Can't rule out a thunderstorm. Monday, some light snow possible with temperatures in the low 30s.
All right, sounds interesting.
Yes.
Thank you, Dave.
Thanks for your help, Mark.
You're welcome. We'll see you back here at 6.